my sweet sisters, and welcome to December. This is your December opening video. Sometimes I do an audio, sometimes I do a video. I kind of felt called to do a video today. Might do an audio for next month. But today felt really important to come to you visually and make that eye contact and tell you how grateful I am that you're here. I so appreciate you and your presence. You know, we just came through the Thanksgiving corridor, right? Giving thanks for all of the beauty in our life, and honestly giving thanks for all of the challenges in our lives too. Through those challenges, we learn who we are. I think the challenges of our lives really sculpt us. You know, we may not enjoy the process of being carved, you know, into our finest form, and yet how can we evolve without it? You know, there's a beautiful quote that says, if every, you know, bump in your life bothers you, how will you ever get polished? And it's really true. You know, if every challenge that you face is going to take you down, how will you ever learn to see the beauty in those challenges? How will you ever learn to rise above in your life? And so I'm giving thanks for the beauty, which is you, and also for the things in life that are challenges too, because they're all teachers. Everything in your life comes up for healing. When there's a challenge, when there's sorrow, when there's anger, when there's frustration, when there's hardship, it's coming up for healing. And a lot of us are healing tough lineages, you know? A lot of us come from magical lineages, but that doesn't mean they're easier. And in fact, the more magical your lineage is, the more karma you probably have to unpack, right? And so just giving thanks for all of that. The other big message I want to relay to you in this opening video is to surrender. You know, December is the month of, at least in the Northern Hemisphere, of drawing inward, right? Spending more time at home, connecting more deeply with your family. It's like pulling a big velvet blanket around your shoulders. You know, this is the time of going within. And I tell you this every year, but it bears repeating. You know, the cycles of nature are there for a reason. They're there to remind us of what's right now. What's the medicine of this moment? And as we transition this month from fall to winter in the Northern Hemisphere, this is a time of drawing inward and reflecting. This is also the month, for me personally, this is a month of deep connection to Christ consciousness. And I don't believe you have to be Christian to connect to Christ consciousness. I think of Jesus Christ as an avatar of source energy. You know, I think all of the faces of God that resonate with you, with me, with everyone else in the world, I think they're all accurate. It's always felt uncomfortable for me to say, well, my God is right, but your God is not. You know, that never felt good to me. That never felt correct or accurate to me. What always felt accurate to me was all the stories are true. And God reveals himself or herself or itself to you in the way that you're most easily going to be able to receive, in the way that you're least likely to reject. Because God comes to you to open your heart, to expand your conscious awareness. And so I think there's never been a time more than now when our planet needs us to lean into this consciousness. And what is Christ consciousness? It's consciousness of compassion. It is really loving your neighbor as you love yourself, right? It's loving your neighbor as you love your family. It's seeing everyone around you as an extension of you, and by extension, also an extension of God, of Source. If you imagine this, if you were to look around your life and see everyone else as sacred, even people that you don't like or that you have had a bad history with, if you were to look at them as sacred, as a child of the divine, as much as you are, would you still be able to be angry? Would you still hold the grudge? Would you still be unwilling to forgive? And that's an open question. And by the way, I struggle with these things as much as you do. So I'm certainly not coming here on my, you know, high horse to tell you, oh, you should forgive and it's, you know, it's easy. It's like, no, it's not. We all get wounded and hurt. And yet somehow we still have to return to that well of compassion, that reservoir of love that's always available to us. It's just, it's a little less accessible sometimes because we're human. You know, when the human heart gets hurt, sometimes we don't even know where to turn or where to look, and we lose our hope. I always say the one thing that's hardest for me to help in people is the loss of hope, is despair, which is the absence of hope. Despair may be the one human condition that really can cause downfall if you don't rescue yourself from it. Because if you lose everything else, that's one thing, but when you lose hope, when you get into that state of despair where you really just don't have hope or faith anymore, that is the deepest level, I think, of human suffering. And so if you're finding yourself in that place now, I want you to know that I see you. I've been there. couple of times. And so, like I said, there's no judgment here. There's just love. There's just, you know, I'm opening my heart as a reservoir of compassion for you. That fountain of love is always available. You know, one of the things I want you to think about, especially with Magical Sabbatical, is I think of this container as being a non-ordinary reality. It's a space outside of space and a time outside of time. And I set the intention that Sabbatical exists that way because I think if you have a little sanctuary in your life, a little space like this that is non-ordinary, right? That isn't in 3D, right? Where the energy is of a higher vibration and intensity, a different frequency. I think you can nourish yourself here. I think you can, you know, reinforce your own resources here and then go back out into the world and do the work that you are called to do, knowing that you have this space to support you. And I hold this container with so much love. It's quite a maternal energy that I hold here. But I'll tell you something, I'm able to hold that. I'm able to hold that maternal space for you, which might seem funny, especially if you're older than me, looking and saying, is that woman holding the maternal space? But I do. And in fact, there are a lot of people who are older than me who say they see me in that maternal way. But part of what you're experiencing as that maternal essence in me is my willingness to show up with unconditional love for you. And it's real. But I hold that space, and I can hold that space because I also receive that energy. I receive it from you. I receive it from my teachers. I receive it from my guides, from Source. So the more of that unconditional love you receive, the more you're able to go out and pay that forward into the world. And that's part of my mission with Sabbatical, is to make sure that that's what this space always is. You know, even though I'm getting ready to launch a new program called the Soul Shift Program in just a couple of days, and I hope you're excited about it, it is without question the most powerful course I have ever taught. It's like pillars of priestessing, Olos, Sabbatical, angel numbers, tarot, and astrology, all wrapped up in one, plus monthly shamanic journey, and sound therapy, and we're going to be talking about energetic nutrition, and there's so much more happening, sacred geometry. And so I hope you're excited. It is for sure the most comprehensive program I've ever built. And yet, I'm building around Magical Sabbatical. It's going to include Sabbatical, but the Sabbatical's Facebook group will remain. This is the core. You are the core of what I do and why I do it. It's really true. And it's funny, sometimes I reflect back and I think back to that time, you know, 7 years ago, almost 7.5 years ago now, when Spirit was like, you need to launch the Sabbatical, you need to do it. And I kept resisting. They gave me the name. I mean, Magical Sabbatical came to me in meditation, and they gave me the name, they gave me everything, and said, just go do it. And I kept saying, I'm not ready yet. Just give me one more year. And I launched it, and the time was right. And there are some of you who've been in sabbaticals since the beginning, which is so beautiful. You know, a lot of our population has you know, been, you know, flowing in and out and through. And sabbatical, by the way, in Latin means pause. It's a pause button. It's a break from reality. And if you think about that, that's my intention. This is non-ordinary reality. This is a break from Muggleville and your family and your kids and all that stuff. This is a place you can come and you're not mom, you're not wife, you're not partner, you're not sister, you're not daughter. Well, you are sister, but you're sister to us. You're just a woman or a man. We have some men in sabbatical who identify as women, and so they're welcome here. But you are just you. You don't have to put on a show. You don't have to have any particular experience. Doesn't matter where you come from. But that is the essence of what is a true spiritual community. We look past everything on the surface to the core of who you are and love you there. And that's how I'm able to offer you unconditional love in a space like this. Because it transcends your physicality. It transcends your name and where you're from and what you do for a living and all the masks that we wear that we think make us important. Here, all those masks come off. There are some people in sabbatical, I will tell you, and it's been this way since the beginning, where sabbatical is the first and only place they've ever shown a picture of their face online. And it brings me to tears every time, but that happens. People will have an avatar, you know, as their Facebook profile picture, and then in sabbatical, they will finally, sometimes after years, say, I'm ready to show my face. And they'll show it to us. And it's because it's safe here. No one's going to judge you. And in fact, we're hungry to know who you are and not just the mask and the face and the name and the title and the job and the who and this and that. It's the core of who you are. And the reason I think that is that's how we've known each other. My soul knows your soul and has for a pretty long time. And my soul knows your soul, not your mask or your face or your name or your job or all those things. Those are layers that you put on to be able to exist in this artificial world that we find ourselves in now. And yet there's so much beauty here. And there's beauty in your masks too. But I kind of like it when you take it all off and you let yourself be a little naked. That's the whole point. So I hope you're excited about the new programs. I hope the energy of Christ consciousness this month opens you up to a deeper level of compassion for those around you. And may I recommend that that deeper level of compassion begins with you, for you. It's really true. I had a moment a couple of weeks ago where I was laying in bed and I was sad. It was nothing, but it was just like in the moment I was hormonal and I got sad. And I just had a moment where I just, loved on the little girl in me. And I can do that. I can hold that space for myself now. And that's where the wounding ends. When the little girl in you knows that the big girl in you is looking out for her. She's not alone anymore. You are there to protect her. You are there to defend her. You are there to honor her truth and her wisdom. And the little girl in me was like, fuck yeah, man. There was just a little, and after that I was fine. I just needed a minute to go, it's going to be okay. It might sound crazy to you, but it's really true. At the end of the day, the magic that you're looking for, the support that you're looking for, the beauty that you're looking for is you. What we do in Sabbatical is mirror it to you until you can see it in yourself. It's the most important work of my life. So I want to tell you I'm thankful, because it wouldn't be nearly as much fun if you weren't here to do it with me. So cheers. Cheers to the magic of the month. Cheers to the magic of the year ahead. 2019 is going to be our most important year of learning ever. And it's going to be your biggest year of life yet. I really do believe it. I think it is the year of transformation. I really, really do. And so if you're ready for that, if you're ready for a new beginning and an expansion of your own capacity to learn, to live, and to love, I think you're in exactly the right place. And I see you. I see you every day. I see you navigating those challenges of your life with grace. I see you stumble, then I see you get back up, and I see you do better the next time. And I see each of you growing and flourishing. There was a moment during the last full moon ritual here live in the classroom where I am now. And I took a moment to sort of scan the room. And I was looking at the faces. There are quite a few Sabbatical sisters here. And I almost started to cry. And it was a very maternal sense of looking at each woman in the room and going, holy shit, look how far she's come since I've known her. And how grateful I am, I'm going to start crying, how grateful I am to have played some small part in your evolution. I'm really grateful. Whatever part that is. Even if all I've done is hold the container of this group so that you could step into it and thrive, that's still something that I'm really grateful to be able to do. And I want you to know that I do it authentically with love. It's not always easy. I'm sure you see those parts too, but it is always true. It is always accurate. And the best is yet to come. So, happy December. Merry Christmas, Merry Yule, Merry Kwanzaa, Merry Hanukkah, all the things. Any and every holiday that you celebrate this month, may it be blessed. We have so much to look forward to. And enjoy. Take moments this month, in the midst of the hustle and bustle, take moments just to breathe and to count your blessings, to look around at the loved ones in your life. And I know some of you have lost love this year. I know. I see you there too. But we still have so much love that surrounds us, don't we? I'm part of that. You're part of that. Thank you for being there. Aho, and on we go. I'll see you soon. From all of my heart to all of your hearts, may the best of our work unfold now, and may the expressions of compassion that we create ripple out across the planet and heal everyone they touch. I'll see you soon.